Welcome to Lifing 101, a journey through life's experiences, challenges, and interpretations. An intriguing and soul-refining podcast that explores the countless twists of life. Get ready to be amused, enlightened, entertained, empowered, and inspired. Hosted by Tina C. Christian, your MC with the LPC, and guest co-host Lorenda McKinney, your MC with the PhD.
Welcome, lovely listeners, to an exciting episode of Lifing 101 podcast,
where we dive into life's little mysteries and offer you insights to help you lead a happier, more fulfilling life.
I'm your MC with the LPC, Tina C. Christian, navigating y'all through this journey up and down and all around on this emotional roller coaster we call life.
And I'm your MC with the PhD, Lorenda McKinney. So grab your favorite beverage, find a comfortable spot, sit back and relax while we embark on this restorative journey together.
Good morning, afternoon, or evening out there. Welcome to the 2024 Toxic Free series. We've talked about toxic types of trait and regarding to friendships and regarding to toxic kids and toxic co-workers.
Yes.
So today we'd like to talk about some toxic relationships, romantic relationships. Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know some people out there probably cringe like, what? Who? Yeah. We about to tell it all. We about to spill the tea.
Yeah.
Drop it.
Yeah, this is gonna be one of those, but it's a lot to talk about, but we're gonna try to make it as short as possible.
Right. You're gonna like it, love it, or hate it. We don't care. We still gonna tell it. We're gonna tell it how it TI is. So, Doc, how you wanna start this? What you wanna talk about? What type of traits or things do we want to kind of let out the bag?
Okay, so I guess it's only right and appropriate that I discuss the one that would be seasonal and appropriate for this time of the year, which is the ones that show up for income tax.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, that seasonal love,
Oh
that income tax love, that Valentine's love that shows up when it's convenient for them.
You know, it's about to be all over social media every year.
Yeah.
It's going to be on there.
You see a lot of hand holding and stuff during this time of the year.
A lot of love, a lot of fake love.
Yeah, a lot of that temporary love.
And to go with that, I guess I would say, yes, definitely the financial abuse and exploitation and using people, the leeches, I mean, male and female, utilizing people for their finances, taking advantage of them, and even younger people getting with older people to take
for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, to take their finances, or even like on the movies where they're waiting for them to die or try to take them out.
Make sure they name on that paperwork, honey.
Right. But yeah, that is a form of a toxic relationship.
It definitely is.
So. Yeah.
And I think it's important, even though we're women saying it, we're not biased. We're not saying it's just women. We're not saying it's just men. It's just romantic relationships. And it goes both ways. Just like a lot of times men don't come forward in abusive relationships because they believe that no one will believe them or they're just too embarrassed to talk about it and to tell it.
The masculinity.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, it does go both ways. Women are abusers financially and even physically and emotionally, just like men are. So it's not any different. Both.
Right.
You know, how they say, who was it? Men lie, women lie.
Yeah. Both of them.
Yeah, both of them. But Tuche, all of them.
Yeah. Both of them definitely can do it. But I think that another big one is probably the lack of trust and the insecurities.
Yeah. That does make for a toxic romantic relationship because you have to have trust. Without trust, I mean, it just really gets to the point of so much or too much drama.
Yeah.
Because it's always going to be some blaming, accusations and accusing people of things. And it turns really toxic because, for one, if you start accusing and blaming people, they like, you think I'm doing it anyway, I might as well do it.
Yeah.
And then that just really creates a more toxic situation because now you may have somebody that wasn't doing X, Y, Z, and but now they are, whether it's cheating or something else.
Right.
So definitely.
Yeah. And then on top of that, how long is it going to last at the state of arguing? Or will it escalate?
Correct.
Because after so long, somebody really tends to make themselves think it's happening. So in their world, it's happening, whether it's not or not. It is or not.
It's their reality.
And So how long will they argue and talk about it before they try to get physical or do something to somebody that they think may be the other person, your friend or something, that's literally a platonic friend. And now they've decided that this is their story and they stick into it.
Right. Yeah. You say that, and I thought about the social media post I saw the other day. It was a reel, and it was a girl, and I guess it was her guy friend, and her dude came out. He's tripping. He's going off, and he's tapping on the window with the gun. And the dude in the car is like, oh my God. So he's like, I know what to do for this. So he gets on his phone and he rolls the window down. He was like, baby, hold on, because he out here tripping. You ain't gonna be knocking on my window. You bust my window. You gonna... So he started, I don't know if he was gay or he started acting like, but he was like, he didn't want no confrontation. So he's trying to pretend like, you know, he has his man on the phone so he can stop tripping that he's standing there or sitting there talking to this girl. But why are you that insecure that you got to come and tap on somebody? Why didn't you just walk up and ask your woman or ask them like, hey, baby, who's this? What's going on? You know, why do you have to start off with violence? So, you know, you bring out your gun, you
escalate it quickly.
That's very toxic.
Yeah, and that's very dangerous because you best believe just like you had one, somebody else could too.
He could have just straight shot through the window instead of raising down the window, you know. So it's like, that's kind of, or that's very toxic. You should be able to have adult conversations and communication. And even if it was another guy, I feel like this, if you don't have trust in a relationship, why are you even in it?
But then I have a big thing about that is we know from Cheaters. Now I watch Caught in the Act or I think I'm in a secret relationship or something. It all comes on VH1 and MTV, y'all. So this is my thing. Are you approaching the correct person? Okay, because you went on the side where the guy was with your gun, and I could initially felt really threatened and reacted without talking. But that's not the person that you're in a relationship with. So you really have to learn to address the person you're in a relationship with, because that's who agreed to be faithful to you.
This person didn't. And I mean, that was, I don't know if it was a skit or for real or what, but that's just an example of something toxic. And that's correct. Yes, he should have definitely been addressing her and asking her questions. It should have been nothing to say to the guy. I mean, you know, that's just like when I hear of women and or men going after the others and they had a fight and they trying to get the one that they're cheating. Why?
And the one that's doing the cheating is standing back, enjoying it and like, I'm glad that ain't me, when it's all about them.
I mean, I'm not condoning any violence towards anyone, but you shouldn't be going after someone else. And even if they did know you were in a relationship, because that's what I hear a lot of times. Well, they knew, she knew, he knew. Regardless, again, like you said, they're not the ones that were committed to you.
They're not the committed one.
So why are you mad at them? I mean, I could get that you're upset and I don't mess with you no more or whatever, but that's not the person you should be talking to. Even if they did know. Unless, if y'all were like best friends or something, I got words for everybody. But I'm still not about to be fighting. But I have words for everybody. That's the conversation I need to have with you and you, because you a toxic friend and you a toxic, you know, significant other. So definitely the lack of trust, if it's not warranted, is very toxic. Now, if you're giving people reasons not to trust you, then maybe you're the toxic one.
Maybe you are. And maybe you literally are intentionally, maybe you're intentionally doing it. Maybe you're a self-sabotager where you sabotage relationships.
Or attention seeking or want to feel like someone's jealous and so they love you, because people really truly believe
they do
crazy shit like that. If he beats me, he loves me. If he fights for me, he loves me. If she fights for me, she loves me. That's some crazy.
He's lying to me because he loves me. And they say that starts in elementary school. When people say he's hitting on me or he chasing me into the he likes you.
Stop telling them.
Stop telling them that, because that's not how you get my attention. You get my attention by asking your mama to pick up an extra sausage biscuit on the way to school. You don't get my attention by pushing on me, stealing nothing from me, or lying. Like, tell your mama. Pick me up next time y'all go out to eat, okay? Because that's what I'm talking about. That's love. Because, you don't get to put your hands on me or do things hurtful to me.
Don't put your hands on me. That part. But lack of trust is definitely a form of toxic relationship behavior. So definitely, if you're out there having a lack of trust for insecurities or reasons or whatever, jealousy, suspicions, talk. You know? Communication is key. A lot of times you can figure out, what's really going on if you have a conversation with the other person and stop making assumptions, because usually that's what it is.
Yeah. And if it's worth saving, you can. But it's been said that the reason why people are overly insecure with people is because they don't feel like they really deserve that person.
Yeah.
So that's why. Yeah. So that's why they're insecure, because in their head, they're thinking that you could have better. So people just really have to be secure with themselves so that they don't reflect that off on someone. Because I can't make you feel secure or insecure. That's something that has to already be there.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And I've also seen and heard that people are, a lot of times, they lack trust and they're jealous or suspicious because they may be doing something
right. Guilty conscience.
So, definitely feeling like or thinking, oh, if I'm doing this, they're doing that, or trying to place the blame on you so that they can flip the script so that it doesn't look like. But either way, lack of trust is toxic. If you're doing that or if you're experiencing that, then definitely warrants a conversation and a determination if you guys really need to be together.
Exactly. Because if it's something you can't fix, then, by all means, if you really care about the relationship, try to fix it. But if not, don't be in denial about it, because that's one that could probably really go left real quick.
Right. And speaking of communicating and communication being key, another toxic trait in a romantic relationship that I am aware of is constant criticism. And I don't mean constructive criticism. Why am I always the one bringing that up? Because I'm very critical, probably. So people think, and then they say Virgos are very judgmental and critical down there. And I'm all that. However, it's coming out of a place of love. Constant criticism, when people are constantly, on any and everything that you do, excessively, or belittling you and your achievements, demeaning you, or being condescending about the things that you're doing and your abilities, and even your choices on anything, your clothes, whatever, it's not healthy.
Yeah.
Constructive, yes. Again, as I've stated before in other type of relationships, if someone's giving you some constructive criticism, that's going to be coming from a place of love. And it's going to be a conversation and a discussion and with some suggestions and recommendations. And it's not going to feel hurtful.
Right.
It's going to feel like some care and concern. I would think and hope. However, if you're not open-minded, I should say, and if you're always internalizing things, well, it could feel like
an attack.
Yeah, like an attack. However, be open-minded and ask those hard questions like, okay, well, if you're saying I'm doing X, Y, Z, or I haven't done, what would you recommend? What would you suggest? You know, or how do you do these things? You get the picture, right?
You have to be comfortable with uncomfortable conversations, because if you walk on eggshells all the time to avoid topics, it will blow up. Or you're just in a fake relationship because you're not putting the things out there. So it is important to communicate, but a conversation about how I feel should not turn into an argument either.
Ever.
Yeah, it should not. I should be able to tell you that. But I think in a relationship, as well as you should know the other person, you know if they're being helpful or hurtful. I really believe that you do.
You should.
Yeah.
You should.
Yeah.
And again, when she says or when Doc says, why the hell do I always say she, not here? When Doc says, if you feel it shouldn't turn into an argument. It shouldn't. You should be able to express your feelings. However, I do feel like sometimes people do utilize that as a way to avoid accountability and consequences. So be careful with not turning into an argument because someone is expressing their feelings, but more so like someone's telling you how they feel. They have every right.
Right.
Everybody's feelings are valid. You have every right to, but don't use it as a weapon. Don't weaponize it. That's what I'm saying. Don't weaponize your feelings and try to utilize that to come back at someone if they're trying to give you some constructive criticism. Be open-minded and be able to accept it and be accountable. And if they do hurt your feelings, then yes, by all means, let them know and express that, because that's important, because they need to know that, because maybe they did come at it the wrong way. However, However, if every time someone's trying to give you some constructive criticism and your feelings are always hurt, then you may need to grow some skin.
Yeah. And it doesn't need to be a tit-tat chat.
No.
And I say a tit-tat chat because that means I'm bringing up something from 12 years ago because you brought up something. Well, you remember that time you did it? And I'm like, when? You like, well, on our first date. And it's 14 years later. Like, if it bothers you, you have to discuss it when it happens in real time. You cannot come back to me no years later bringing up something because I said something bothered me.
Exactly. And so what's some other things that you can think of when you're thinking of romantic relationships and toxicity?
I would definitely say controlling behaviors.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I would say controlling behaviors. And this is kind of the one where people feel like it's love because a person is isolating them and smothering them.
Yes.
Yeah, people think, oh, I'm so glad that they love me that much. No.
That's not healthy.
No, you don't control people. You just don't. So that is not healthy, and that is not love, and that is nothing to laugh about or brag about because it's not good.
No, and some of the things, give some examples. What does that look like for people? I know a lot of different controlling situations, whether it be in controlling people by not wanting them to be around others, isolating them.
I know a lot of that.
Financial control, trying to control money or withholding or rationing out money. What's some other things you can think of?
I think the big one that you mentioned is the isolation. Yeah. So they keep you away from friends and family because they don't want anybody to interfere with it, for one. Yeah. For two, they just want to kind of, when you're isolating someone, you're pretty much taking away their self-esteem and things like that. So the lower I make you and I beat you down, the easier it is to control you because now you think I'm the only one that loves you. I'm the only one that cares about you. Other controlling things.
The actions and decisions that you make, and when people try to control the way that you do things, that is a very controlling behavior. Whether it's you're trying to, just go to the store. No, you don't have to go. I'll go. Yeah. Something like that. Or if you're trying to go somewhere without them, well, why are you always trying to go when you don't need to go without me? Things like that. I think of those type of things. Those are all red flags.
They are.
Controlling your online presence or
even how you dress, how you look. You get ready to head out the door. They calling you back to change clothes or that doesn't look good or you shouldn't wear that. You're in a relationship. And
controlling your wardrobe. And the controlling of your online presence, because that's a big thing too. I've noticed people are trying to control who you talk to or your email or
your cell phones.
All of that. All your electronic devices, whether it's your cell phone, your laptop, your tablet, but your online, your email, things like that. If they're controlling who you can text or talk to, then you may want to look at that. That may be a red flag.
That definitely is a red flag because I just, you know what, honestly, after I work all day, I'm not coming home to work again. So I'm not trying to control anyone because they say, let people do what they want to do. Then you see what you literally see what they really want to do. If I'm telling you what to do, then that's almost like I'm just creating another me or a duplicate because I'm literally telling you everything. I'm not letting you be your person. So, I mean, maybe they should get a pet. Maybe a fish. Maybe a fish because the dog might get them one day. So, I'm going to go with a fish because that may be safe. But really, that's too exhausting to try to run your life and run somebody else's. That's pretty exhausting.
Yeah, but pay attention, people. If you have someone that's controlling multiple things in your life, whether it's your actions, your choices, your social media and online presence, your finances, clothing, that's a big red flag.
Yeah, and if you've been doing it for a while, you probably feel like it's normal, so you may not identify it. Yeah. But if you're new and you think that it's what it is, and you slowly see your freedom slipping away, that's what it is. Yeah. And it's better to address it early.
Correct.
Because once they really feel like they're controlling you, then you really are their property. So the longer you let it go on, the worse it's going to be.
Yeah, you're going to lose yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
Another one that I can think of, and that's big, is manipulation.
Yes.
And that kind of goes hand in hand with the controlling piece. They usually will try to manipulate and gaslight you. I always say, oh my God, try to make you feel like something is this and when it's not. Or make you feel like you're crazy or you're delusional and, manipulate manipulate you into doing things you really don't want to do, or manipulating you into the point where they can control you.
Yeah.
That's what it's usually about.
Yeah, or making you feel guilty. You always do this for them, but then whenever I ask you, you won't do it. And just it be seeming so petty, but I'm telling you, this stuff.
And it seems innocent sometimes, but you have to really pay attention, especially when you're in a relationship, a romantic relationship, and you're really involved and really love someone. It's hard to accept and see a lot of those things.
Yeah.
And you don't really look at them as toxic behaviors.
Yeah.
You look at them as, oh, they love me, or oh, they can't live without me, or oh, they just really want to be near me. No, it's toxic.
Yeah. And then if it's a pattern in your dating, then you really don't have a healthy one to compare it to. So sometimes you can think that it's okay because you don't have anything else to compare it to. And it may be less toxic than the one before. So you're like, oh, this is better. But if it's anything that you have to hide from people, if you don't feel comfortable around people because you don't know what they'll do to embarrass you and people see it, then it's probably not right. It's probably not good, because if you have a healthy relationship, you put it on full display in front of people. But if you're kind of nervous when y'all around people because you're scared that they're going to say or do something that would make your family or friends question it, then it's probably a little toxic.
Right. So what's another one you can think of?
A huge one would definitely be communication and lack of communication. Yeah, it definitely would be. Is everything an argument? Do you get the silent treatment? And I know we all have that down packed, but is it to the point where it's unhealthy?
Right, all the time.
Yeah.
Consistent.
Yeah.
That's the key here.
And are you really doing it to break that person down? Like, that will just really upset them, or is that why you're doing it?
Yeah. How do you even have a relationship without communication?
But you know what? It's funny you say that, because during COVID, when everybody was quarantining, a lot of people were breaking up and getting divorces because know what? When they didn't have to be together, they really didn't know each other.
Yeah, they didn't even know how to communicate because they never had
because they never had to. And then all of a sudden quarantine, and they looking at each other like, who are you? And I didn't know you was this way. And then some of them got abusive, but there was no communication there. And they say a lot of times people add that physical component, and that's all they literally have. So can you have a conversation? Is it a good conversation? Can you talk about everything? Can you talk from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed? Like, what is the communication?
Right. It is key. I don't want to talk all damn day, Doc, but...
No, and I'm not saying talk all day.
Shut the hell up, get away from me now.
I'm not saying talk all day.
Ain't the Knicks playing or something?
Yeah, because I told you when I first come in from work, I'm going to need 3 to 5 hours to unwind. But I'm just saying, do we have that much in common where we could have a conversation?
Yeah, and I noticed that as a therapist during COVID, and I think that's probably one of the components that made me get empathy burnout. Yeah. Because there was so much going on, so many people. And I remember when my husband and I, we were quarantining together, of course, and we were having a ball.
Yeah.
And we were like making Facebook Live videos. Shit, we don't even normally do. We was doing like two-stepping and parodies.
Yeah, it was good for you guys because it was just more quality time. But imagine those people that really, they almost have a business deal. They share bills, they share responsibilities. Yeah, but when it comes time to really be there 100%, they just really don't have that much in common.
Right.
Yeah. Because I would think that it would be good, just extra time to spend with
your significant other, you would think.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people, when they're in toxic relationships, they don't want to communicate and they don't even want to come home. So I know there's a lot of people I've heard like, I hate to even go home, or damn, I don't even want to go in there and sit down in the car.
No, this guy told me that he be on the phone talking to his friends that are in relationships, and he said they be sitting in their garage telling him how they don't want to go in the house. Yeah. So he's sitting on his phone talking to them to keep them company while they sitting outside the house because they're not quite ready to go in.
Right.
And I think a relationship should be so healthy that you're running home.
Right.
After your day at work, after your long day at work, you should be like, I can't wait to get home. So if you got to sit outside for 3 days after you arrive and the family looking out the window like, is he coming in?
Right.
Then maybe you should reconsider. People have to understand, you should work on a relationship if it's something that you can fix. But you also do have to know, and I'm not saying this to break anybody up, but you also do have to know when it's time to walk away.
Your breaking point.
Yeah, because all of your days should not be unhappy.
Definitely. Life's too short to be miserable. I say it all the time. But again, if it's salvageable and if it's workable and you're working it, then that's one thing.
And it's healthy.
But if it's not and both aren't willing parties, then it may be a time to kind of reevaluate.
Yeah, maybe y'all can be friends, like Usher said. We ain't good, but we still good.
All right. Look at him, Usher, baby. Yeah, so that, and also constant drama.
Yeah.
And that's probably why a lot of those men are sitting out in the damn car. They're like, oh my God, I don't go hear all the damn drama.
I just thought it was the craziest thing because he was dead serious. And I'm like, that is terrible.
It is. It's heartbreaking because that your home should be your safe haven.
Yeah, to get all the way to your house.
What you say, your peace palace. Girl, I was in here last night trying to think of something. I'm going to come up with something. I'm like, this going to be my happy hood. I'm like, I can't have that one. That one should have been hers and she should have gave me peace palace. She should have had.
So I should take happy hood?
No, you should take nap nest.
I like it.
I'm like, she should have had the nap nest. I can't use that.
Yeah, I do like nap nest though.
But yeah, I mean, my house, my relationship, I don't want drama.
Yeah.
I can't have drama in my life like that. So if you have constant drama, that's definitely toxic. If you're always arguing about every and anything, and if it's getting just like real emotional all the time, that's draining.
That is. Could you imagine that?
No, I don't want to. And so if you're out there and you're listening and you're in a relationship, a romantic relationship, and you're constantly drained emotionally because of drama, that is a big red flag. That, for me, that's a deal breaker.
Yeah, and it is a such thing of too much drama.
It is.
It is.
I can't. I mean, I know every relationship is going to have their ups and downs. You're going to have your heated discussions, and that's not what I'm talking about. You're going to disagree. You're going to, have these issues where you're not going to see eye to eye.
Right.
However, if you're constantly cussing and fussing and arguing every darn day or all the darn time, or you're just emotionally drained, or if you're sitting out in the damn garage because you're emotionally drained, or you're always on the go and gone because you're trying to avoid home, or you're working 120 hours a week because you don't want to go home, then you may want to look at that. That may be something to really take note of, and it's a red flag that you're in a toxic romantic relationship.
Yeah, is your head hurting? Yes. Are you constantly feeling like your blood pressure is escalated when you have to come home or when you're around them? Or do you really literally start feeling sick about it?
Yeah, because that can make you feel sick.
Yeah.
I know. I get emotionally, if I get stressed out, I physically get ill.
Yeah.
So I know I couldn't deal with that every day, all day, or all the time, or every time they're home, we're arguing and fussing and fighting, and I can't.
Yeah, I'm not going to do the arguing. Yeah. I'm just not. We're going to communicate about it. We're going to decide if we're going to fix it or not, and we're going to move on. But I am not going to do the constant arguing. I'm just not going to do it. Does it matter enough to argue? Or does this relationship matter enough to even be arguing? Is it going to fix anything? Exactly. So that's one, absolutely not. But the drama, it is exhausting. And if you find yourself constantly feeling that way, it's not okay. And don't always think you got to be a ride or die. And don't always think that you got to ride it out because it'll go away, but it hasn't went away. And it's more of that than there is happy times. Don't for 1 second think that's normal, because it's not. Right.
Ride or die is one thing. Being dumb as hell is another.
Yeah. And being sick and stressed out is a whole nother one.
Yeah. Don't be a fool. Choose yourself first. Choose happiness. I say it all the time. However, every relationship, if you are in it and you're in it to win it, is worth saving if you can. However, don't sacrifice yourself for someone else's happiness is all I'm saying.
And both people should be important. So.
Correct. It should be equal.
Yeah.
And speaking of equal, what about the unequal power dynamics?
Yeah, that power struggle.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's imbalanced. Like, someone's always trying to dominate the other. I mean, I know when we're in romantic relationships, there's roles that we take on as, you know, like the masculine or the feminine role, whether it's same-sex relationships or opposite sex. But if you have someone that's always trying to dominate you on everything, and if the power is imbalanced, like you have no say on anything.
Right.
That's really what I'm talking about when I think of it. It's like you can't make decisions. Yeah. You can't make, you know, I mean, something as simple as where you're going to go to dinner, you know? Yeah. I mean, or something as simple as what you guys are going to do for the holiday or something. If you're in a relationship where the power is imbalanced and you have no say, you're like that child that is seen and not heard, then that is probably a toxic relationship. Yeah,
it's about them. As long as it makes them happy, it's good.
Your feelings are irrelevant.
Yeah, as long as they're happy and you're doing this because I said so. Like, is you a parent or are you my significant other? Because you don't get to do that. If you don't feel like your input is as important as the other person's input, like, and I know this sounds crazy because some people are probably like, oh no, why would somebody do that? Trust me. There's somebody that had to go to bed or wake up at the same time somebody else did because they said so.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, they really enforce it. I mean, I know my husband, he says stuff like that, like, I'm going to bed, come on, let's go. And I'll be like, you need some more kids. Who you talking to, you know? But
but it's that real.
But there's some like, real situations where like get your ass in the bed and they gotta go. It's like, huh? What the hell? Or get in the house or some shit like that. I'll be like, what? Who they talking to? Yeah. I mean, like, no respect for you, no respect for your feelings and or decisions or your wants and or needs or desires. That is what I'm talking about when they're constantly controlling you and they're dominating you in everything.
Right. And they're literally, you're around because there's something that's convenient for them being in that relationship. Yes. So you get to only do that. You get to only do that and you do that well, so they let you stay. But everything else is my world and you are living in it.
Just squirrel trying to get a nut. But I laugh, but it's not funny at all because that is definitely part of that control and dominance, you know, that power dynamic and struggle. It's real. And I've seen it and it's hurtful to watch.
It is.
I've seen it one time with an actual friend and my mind was blown. Yeah. But I've also seen it in sessions with clients and situations where they turned into like an infant.
And I was going to say, it would be horrible because you're watching that person deteriorate while they're still alive. Yes. You're watching them just slowly just deteriorate. And the bad thing is if they do a really good job of that power struggle, you stuck because you don't even know what to do to get away or what you would do if you did get away.
And then sometimes they get away and they come right back because like you said,
they're lost.
They're lost. They've allowed someone to just dominate them so much that they felt like they couldn't even live without them. Right. Or they couldn't survive without them. Right. And that's a sad story to hear and really sad to watch. Yeah. It is. So if you're out there and you're that person in that relationship, I say get into some therapy, try to get some help, some marriage counseling, couples counseling, or whatever you need to do for your health and your safety, because it's not a great place to be at all.
Right. Yeah. And then probably the biggest one is emotional and physical abuse. And this is so huge because everybody's always fast to say, he wouldn't dare hit me. That's the first thing people say when you say, are you in an abusive relationship? The first thing people say, he wouldn't dare hit me. He know I don't play that. And I'm like, you do realize that emotional and mental abuse is way worse than physical abuse. Correct. Because they start to make you believe those things that they're saying and you can't get them out your mind no matter how much you try to get it out.
Right. Now, granted, physical abuse can and is awful and bad.
It is.
And it will leave bruises and sometimes take people's lives. Right. However, emotional scars, they don't heal that well either. Exactly. Sometimes it takes years and years of therapy and support and even damn medicine to heal from things that people have done to people emotionally. Yeah. And it's heartbreaking as well. And so the things like the hitting and the yelling and the name calling and all that type of stuff, that is very hurtful. I mean,
it is.
And it tears the other person down because, for one, if you really love that person, it's like, wow, that's like the ultimate betrayal to hear that this person that you have so much love and honor and respect for is treating you and talking to you like you scum of the earth, or, you know, gum on the bottom of their shoe. And that shit is hurtful as hell. And it is. It really tears people down. And a lot of people have even took themselves out because of it. They couldn't even deal with it. So when people don't think that emotional abuse is something that sometimes is very much worse than physical abuse, because, okay, sometimes it depends on the severity of the physical abuse. Let's just say that. So, but if somebody punches you in the mouth, your mouth is going to hurt, but it's going to eventually stop. You're going to put some ice on it. It's going to go away. It's going to heal up. Somebody talk about you and degrade you, demean you, and exploit you and things like that. It's going to take quite some damn time to come back and bounce back from that. And it really depends on how resilient you are how torn down you are. And if you have other adverse, either childhood experiences that have, or traumas that have torn you down, or other people that have betrayed you or whatever, it can be detrimental.
It can be. When you get in a relationship, you share things with your significant other that you need them to know so they know how to love you and everything. Are they using those things when they get upset as emotional and mental abuse? Are they using those things? Because that's horrible, because those are not really things you want to relive. You were telling them so they knew, and now they're using it against you. That's why I say it's important not to minimize the emotional and the mental, because it's not all about people laying their hands on you. If you do not feel safe and you feel like they're constantly trying to break you, that's just as bad as somebody putting their hands on you.
Correct. Toxic behaviors in romantic relationships, any emotional, psychological, or physical abuse, even financial abuse. All of that is abuse. And I know people don't really want to accept it and or identify with it or anything. But if you're in that situation, hey, that's a red flag that you're in a toxic relationship.
It is, because are you holding me hostage? Like, because that's pretty much what that feels like. And that means you hold me against my will. And you're doing things that I can only get from you if I behave the way you want me to. Yeah, like I'm a puppy. About to get a treat. No, sir. No, ma'am. Yeah. So those are definitely some toxic behaviors and traits to look for to really try to determine if you're in a toxic romantic relationship. Another thing, the lack of support. And I'm not just speaking of financial support. Exactly.
I'm speaking more of emotional support on your goals and your dreams and desires, and someone that's going to lift you up.
Yeah, they should be your biggest cheerleader.
Correct.
They should be one of your biggest cheerleaders.
Your biggest cheerleader.
Yeah.
And I know maybe they're not going to always agree with everything that you do, but if they're never on your team or they're not team you ever, then that may be a sign that you're in a toxic romantic relationship, because who would not want something good or great or want someone that they love to advance?
Right. So if I get a promotion, I come in, I'm like, hey, babe, let's go out to dinner. Let's celebrate. Celebrate what? And I'm like, I got a new promotion. Oh, you did? Oh, you always get promotions.
Downplaying it too.
What's the promotion? Like, really? You know what my promotion is? I'm about to go pack all my stuff. You stay right here, sir.
Don't worry about it, boo.
You stay right here, sir.
Don't even worry about it. I tell you what, I'm about to go out here and about to get it how I'm living.
Right.
About to go celebrate on my own.
Right, but it is
my biggest cheerleader.
Yeah, it is important. People in any relationship, support is just one of the biggest things. I say this because support, regular support and financial support are not equal. Because I can go get jobs to make the money if I need it, or pick up another job or whatever.
Correct.
But if I never have that support from you, that is going to be very eye-opening. It is. It's going to be hard to be with somebody that's never got your back.
Got your back.
Yeah.
So, and when you say got your back, we're talking about emotionally. And,
every aspect of it.
For the good times, celebrating, but then also helping you through the tough times and the challenges, and being supportive through your struggles, and encouraging you to do better, and uplifting you, or even encouraging when you're down.
Right. Because I'm going to figure that you're giving it to them. So are they giving it back, basically? Yeah. Or are you getting back what you're giving out?
Right.
Yeah. Because if y'all both toxic, then please stay together and save the world. Yeah. So if y'all both toxic, hey, let's do a GoFundMe and send y'all on a honeymoon because y'all need to stay together. But if somebody in a relationship is healthy, if somebody is healthy and somebody's unhealthy, then the healthy person can identify that they're not getting the treatment back. True. So that's how you can question it. But by all means, y'all TNTs, y'all stick together because let us have the healthy people.
Said, let's stay together. But overall, with all of these things, the key is, and the final thing that I really want to, kind of leave you guys with the gem, as Doc would say, peep how you feel. Yeah. Peep how you feel. Yeah. Emotionally, physically. And if you're feeling emotionally drained or exhausted or physically ill, I mean, you may just very well be in a toxic relationship. I know nobody wants to wake up one day and realize that, especially if you didn't know. It's going to be, kind of shocking to you. However, take inventory. If you even feel like you can relate to multiple things or even more than one or more, then by all means, that may be a red flag. It may be time to have some hard conversations and discussions with your significant other and or seek additional outside professional help if necessary and or legal help. Right. However, don't sacrifice yourself. Don't sit and put yourself last for the sake of someone else's happiness and or allow them to treat you like you're nothing because you are everything and you are enough for yourself and for others. And if you're not, then you're with the wrong person. Right. Definitely. And I would just say we're not by any means saying that relationships should be perfect because they're all going to have our relationships. They're all going to have their ups and downs because we all are flawed. None of us are perfect, so it would be impossible. Correct. But what I am saying is that don't feel like something is small when it's really not small. Don't say I stay because he just does this or he just does this. But I see other people, they relationship, that guy or girl does this. At least he don't do that. Worry about yours. Right. And no matter how much it is, if it's something that bothers you and it bothers you on a regular basis, it's a problem. So if you've already discussed it and no change can be made, you may should reconsider. Right. Is it your deal breaker? Because I know when I was doing couples counseling and marriage counseling and things like that, I would always ask people, did you do marriage counseling before? Because here you are now. However, if you did or if you didn't, some of the questions that you should have asked yourself, not the other, but yourself is, what are my deal breakers? Yeah, what are my non-negotiables? Because people always talk about what they want, but people never talk about what they don't want. And that's why I think a lot of times people wake up and realize one day, I got just what the hell I asked for, but I didn't get what I really wanted because you were not specific and you weren't paying attention. So say, for instance, you say, I want a man, women, I'm talking to you. If you say, I want a man that has his own place, his own, has a nice job, nice car, nice house, he's, handsome and this, that. Okay. Yeah, you got it. Bam. Good. However, you didn't say what you didn't want. Right. So what if he is all those things, but he's very emotionally and physically abusive? He's a drug addict and he's, strung out on drugs. Right. He has a gambling problem. He's an excessive cheater. Right. I mean, think about the things that you don't want and then look into the relationships that you're trying to get into or even that you are in now and say, are those my deal breakers? Am I dealing with those? Am I accepting my deal breakers? Because 9 times out of 10, if you're miserable, you're probably dealing with some deal breakers. Yeah. And you don't know what to do now because you're in that situation. You allowed yourself to get in. Yeah. Even though you should have known that this was not for you because everybody ain't for everybody. Right. Because I know my deal breakers, you're not going to put your hands on me, nigga. Because my daddy died when I was 7 and I'll lay you in the ground and put your hands on me. That's how I feel. Right. So you're not going to be sitting up doing drugs. I don't have time for that. Right. I mean, if I love you and we're married, you get strung out on drugs. Yes, I'm going to put you in some treatment to try to get you some help. Yeah. If you can, and hey, I got to save myself. The boat is sinking. I'm jumping. If you're, doing things like if you're gambling, no ma'am, no sir. Yeah. Because you're risking everything. You're too damn adventurous for me. And I don't know where you'll stop at. Correct. You may take everything from us.
Yeah.
So I don't want to play that game. So I know that those type of things are my deal breakers.
Right.
I'm not doing that. If I see that in the beginning, there's no need in us even continuing.
Right.
Because I know I can't live with that. I can't do it.
Exactly.
So were you accepting those things only because you thought that he had all these other qualities, ladies or men? Or are you accepting her because she had all these other qualities now? And that's another thing, because men get in these relationships as well and they want to change.
I was just going to say
that they had. Okay, you wanted June Cleaver, but you knew
you clearly
had
knew
Boom Quisha at the club, popping it and dropping it like it was hot, and all that, percolating and half dressed. And as soon as you get married, you want to turn into June. But if that was your deal breaker, you should have never married her, because that's what attracted you to her, evidently. But like they say, you try to take and turn a hoe into a housewife, and then now you mad because she not. Well, that's what you got. You should have been more specific. If that's what you wanted, that's what you should have got. You should have looked for June Cleaver, because now you say, oh, she don't do this, she don't do that. She didn't do that at first either, but you was happy with that. But now you're trying to change her. So if that was your deal breaker, you should have never got into that relationship. You know, or she's spending too much. Oh, she was spending in the beginning. And you was probably dishing it out, trying to, you know,
lure the person in.
So now you've created this monster, and now you're not happy with it. But again, know your deal breakers, or whether, you know, she got that mouthpiece. Because I know a lot of women, especially African American women, we very outspoken and we can go and the tongue will cut you like a knife. But if she had that mouthpiece when you got with her, then what did you expect?
Right.
Not to say that you have to take it, or you should.
Exactly.
Because you shouldn't have to. However, if you knew that that was your deal breaker, then you shouldn't have got with her.
Yeah.
And so that's my thing, is telling people that know your deal breakers. Know what you can and can't
totally,
deal with.
that is an excellent point. Know your deal breakers, know your non-negotiables, and don't change, because like Tina was saying, some people think they can get you and then change you, or some people think that your wallet can cover up the other deal breakers that they seen. But I've heard a lot of people now say cheating is not a deal breaker. So I've heard that. So know your things and stand on them, and don't settle for anything less than that, because otherwise you're going to find yourself settling for even more, because you're going to find out there were some other things there that you might not have noticed right away. So then I'm ignoring 3, and then you surprise me with 2 other things. So know your deal breakers and your non-negotiables.
Correct.
Don't think you can change anybody once you get into a relationship, because just because you do something a little different than you did before, it's still not going to change that. And don't go with what is popular or common. If it's your deal breaker and your non-negotiable, you stick to that. I don't care what everybody else is doing.
Know what you can get, because there are people that are okay with open marriages.
With all that,
and they function just fine. But everybody's family dynamics and relationships and roles are different. And I always say, what works for one may not work for the other. Stop trying to do what other people do. What do you want to do? It's all about you and your significant other. What can you guys deal with? What are you guys comfortable with? It doesn't matter what Tracy and Johnny and all them doing. That has nothing to do with you. Ain't none of your business. Do what's best for you and your family, and know your deal breakers, and know the things and about the people that you get in these relationships with ahead of time. Take some time. And I always tell people too, or like I was telling my son one time, I was like, take people and put them in their comfort places and observe them. Put them with their people, because that's where they're most comfortable. You should be going to these family events and hanging out with the friends and stuff, because then you get to see who the hell they are. Because 9 times out of 10, you meet these greeters and they sitting there picking you in these first several outings and dates, trying to find out what you want. Like, what you looking for in a woman, or what you looking for in a man.
And I think that's the worst thing.
And then
because they do exactly,
and then they tell them, I want this. Well, that's me. Or they just start pretending to be that's them. Well, hell no. Don't tell them what you got to offer.
That is awesome, Tina. It's awesome that you said that, because you really, if you do that, and I tell you all the things I like for them first. For them, you done gave them the cliff notes. For them first 2 or 3 weeks, they gonna do exactly that. Then you gonna come home after that, and Ike gonna greet you, and you gonna be eating the cake. So I'm so glad that you brought that up, because
it drives me nuts.
If I tell you I want somebody to do A, B, C, and D, you definitely gonna knock that out the park for a little bit.
For a little bit, as long as you can hold it up. Because if that's not you,
that
you're not going to be
that
able
honeymoon
to continue
phase.
it as you did, because you were only doing it to try to reel somebody
Exactly.
in.
And I seen this meme on Facebook that said, at this age, I don't want potential. I want you already potential. So basically that means I'm not going to try to change you. Like, I want you coming to me as you are, and that's going to be acceptable, or maybe
Correct.
you're not the person for me. And I think that people
okay.
want somebody so bad that they're settling, and then they're thinking that they can mold that person into what they want.
Too.
Don't do that, because it's unfair to you, and that's unfair to that person, because those requirements that you're trying to give them, they didn't sign up for that. That's your mind that wanted it. They never said, okay, I'll be that person. Right. You should have went and found the person that's already that person.
Correct. I mean, you may not find someone that's perfect.
Right.
However, if you know your deal breakers, then you're going to do a pretty damn good job of picking the right person. Because if they don't have those deal breakers when you meet them, and before you spill the beans and tell them everything and let them pretend to be, then they will be someone that's decent for you. People do change. People do grow apart. But for the most part, I'd say like at least 99% of the time, you're going to get a good pick if you know your deal breakers, unless this person changes and starts doing some of the deal breakers.
Right. And then don't be so fast to bring them around your kids and your families and stuff. And the reason why I say that is because then they feel like they safe and comfortable, because now they've gotten in there. And once they get to the kids, then you start letting them stay around, because you like, now Junior is going to be hurt. Attached. But and that's why I say don't do that. That's unfair to the kid. They don't have to meet everybody that you date.
It's unfair to yourself too, because now you done put in this other factor into the equation, and now you feeling guilty, and you're avoiding the breakup because you don't want to hurt your kid. And now you're emotionally jacked up as well. So no, I agree. If you don't think that they are the right person, then definitely not. But
don't do that.
Ask people all the time and tell people all the time, see them in their own settings.
That makes sense.
Because you will see how they act. I saw this one girl with her people, and oh my God, I was like, I would have never known. She was completely, it was like a catfish type of thing. It's like, I ain't never seen this. Who the hell is she?
Like, that makes good sense.
Very loud and obnoxious and everything. And I was like, before it was, hey, it's like so timid and quiet. And I'm like, wow, she can get loose.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because if we go around your family, or your cousin gonna start talking about, you remember we used to steal money out of people's purse?
Right. Yeah.
I'm like,
we robbed the candy store.
So that is really, I didn't think about that. Put them in their comfort zone and see what you hear.
And when we go to this retreat, don't be listening to everything that Alicia said, because she might be telling some stuff like, girl, remember when we was at the sugar shack? But I'm not that person anymore. However,
but that is that's a good point.
When you are with your people, you are yourself.
Yeah.
And like you say, we've said it several times before, you feel your best, and you're yourself with your people.
Yeah.
You will really truly see who someone is
excellent.
When they have their hair let down and they feel comfortable and they're in there. Pay attention to that.
Yeah.
Pay attention to how they talk to their friends and their family members, their mother, their children. Pay attention. You can get a pretty good idea of who this person is, and stop telling every damn body what you're looking for, because that's who the hell you're going to get for a minute.
For a minute.
And then, like you said, Ike going to come showing up.
Yeah, Ike open the door. You like, whoa. That's not who it was last
Get in the booth. Sing the damn song.
And we laughing about this, but it's really serious.
It is.
But it literally can change so fast that you like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yes.
So just be alert and don't chop stuff up as, oh, that was nothing or that's little. Please don't do that. Don't minimize it. If it bothers you, it bothers you.
Right. And if you're not sure if it's something you should be worried about or something significant, if you're really on the fence about that, go talk to someone.
Yeah.
Get you some help, whether it's a friend, family member, a pastor, preferably a professional, someone that's going to be not somebody that's going to be telling you the wrong thing because they want you to stay or because they want you to leave.
Right.
But get someone that's going to be unbiased and just really give you the good stuff.
Right.
So, yeah.
But I think if it stays on your mind and it bothers you a lot, I think that's enough. Yeah, that's enough.
Time to visit something or someone and figure out something. If you can't have the good conversation with them, the adult conversation without all the drama and the arguing and the blaming and the flipping and all that, then go talk to someone else and see and make sure it's it's them and not you. You know?
Yeah, and make sure that you understand that it doesn't take away from you as a person, doesn't make you a failure.
Oh, no.
It doesn't do any of that if you decide that you no longer want to deal with it. You have to do what's best for you.
Correct. And I think that's why a lot of people stay in these toxic relationships, because they don't want to feel like a failure, especially people that have maybe like been married multiple times. I've heard numerous people in therapy and in my life saying things like, well, I've been with them this long and I've been married this long and I just don't want to start over.
They want to make it work.
I'm like, baby, life's too short to be miserable.
It is.
I don't give a damn if I had 10 marriages. If I'm not happy, I ain't happy. I don't give a damn if I done had 10 relationships. If I'm not happy, I'm not happy. It's not negotiable, you know?
Right. And what are at the first reasons you come up with when somebody asks why you with somebody and you like, well, we work well together, we pay bills well together, or we've been together this long, or this is my fourth marriage and I'm determined to make it. Those are not the first things that you should think of when people ask why you're together. So that's a marriage or something, or a relationship of a convenience. Yeah. So I just think it really is important to realize, hey, if it's not working, it's not working. You don't owe anybody any extra information you don't want to give them. If you break up with somebody and you don't want to tell anybody anything else, but we're not together, that's all you owe somebody. So never feel like you have to give a bunch of information on why you and the person no longer together. Because I ain't going to tell you nothing. You just going to keep wondering why I keep showing up without them. And then 5 years later, somebody going to get the nerves to say, where's such and such? I'll be like, we've been broke up for 10 years now. So, I just don't pry into people's relationships. Right. They will tell you what they want you to know. So don't feel like you don't want to break up because you don't want to explain it. Yeah. Well, I'm not going to explain it. I'm not. I'm going to tell you what I want you to know. Right. But anyway, people, I think we've talked your ears off a little while now. What do you think? I think you guys have it. Yeah, I think they have it too. But yeah, I'm going to finish my song though. Wow. Gone Taina. No, you got me wanting that song. Now I'm about to play that. As soon as I get off of this pot of soul, I'm about to play me some Al Green, y'all. Y'all go listen to it too. But no, until next time, stay hopeful and stay curious.
Before we part ways, we invite you to share your own stories, thoughts, and reflections with us. Connect with us on social media, reach out through our website, or simply leave a comment on your preferred podcast platform. Feel free to leave us in voicemail at 816-607-1243 with any thoughts, concerns, or questions that you'd like shared on Lifing 101 or just answered or addressed. If you prefer to send us an email, feel free to do so by sending it to our website, lifing101pod.com, or send us an email to info@lifing101pod.com. Your insights and experiences enrich our shared understanding of this incredible journey we're all a part of. Please subscribe to this podcast and follow our website, lifing101pod.com, and find and follow us on your favorite social media platforms. Stay hopeful, stay curious, and keep embracing the vibrant, unpredictable, and awe-inspiring journey that we call life. Goodbye for now, and may your days be filled with endless wonder.